Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing great. So, as part of this Playwright API testing series, so far we have seen Playwright setup and installation, get request, post request, and put and delete request. And in all those videos, we have seen only the status code validation, correct? But in real API testing, validating only the status code is not enough. We also need to validate the actual response data. Okay, so in this video we will see how to validate the get request response. Okay, and also we will see what all important things we can validate. Okay, so let's get started. And so this is the response we got from API. Okay, and if you observe carefully, this response is inside this square bracket. Okay, so this response is inside this square bracket. I'll scroll down, I'll show you. So this is inside this square bracket. So this means that the response is an array. Okay. So array means collection or list of multiple items. So these are all items. Okay. So these are all items. Okay. Okay. And inside the array, each user data is represented as an object. Okay. So here these are all user data, and this each user data is represented as an object. Okay, so object means data stored in key value format. So this is the key and this is the value. Okay, okay, and inside the object again we have nested objects. Okay, so this is the object, and here inside this object we have another object. See, this is the object, and inside this we have another object, address and company. Okay, so this is called nested object. Okay, so nested object means object inside another object. So this is one object, and inside this we have another object. Okay, this is called nested object. Okay, okay, and you have already noticed we have multiple records here. Okay, from id 1 to 10. Okay, so one thing we can validate is whether we have received 10 users or not. Okay, so if we go here also we have 10 users. Okay, first thing we'll validate is we have 10 whether we have received 10 users or not. Okay, and along with that we'll validate many things like status code, array validation. We have to verify that the response is in format of array, then record count, then field validation, nested object validation, very important, and format validation and loop validation. Okay, and we also validate many things. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'll just don't want to type, I'll just copy this thing. Okay, so you know that here we have validated the status code. Okay, so before that what we are doing here is we are converting the response into JSON format. Okay, so here we are converting the response into JSON format, and we will store this response in some variable. Okay, so I think I have done here. Yeah, we'll copy it. Okay, so here we are converting the response into JSON format and we are printing it. Okay, okay. Next is important thing is validating the status code. So how to validate the status code? Response dot status. So response is this one. Okay, response dot status. This response dot status is a playwright method. Remember, it is a playwright method, and it gives the status returned by the server, and to be is an assertion method. Okay, so to be is an assertion method. It compares two values here. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next we will validate whether this is an array or not, and also we will validate the length, that is we received 10 users. Okay, okay, so what we are validating here is we are validating whether the response is an array. Okay, so here this array is an JavaScript built-in class. Okay, and is array is a method. Okay, so here I'm passing this data into this is array, so it validate. Okay, well, it will validate whether this data is an array or not, and we are using to be true the method. Okay, so this returns true. Okay, and the here we are not validating that, the data inside the array. Okay, so here we are not validating the data inside array. So here what we are validating is, here we are validating only whether the response itself is an array or not. Okay, so using this to be true, they means we are only validating this response is an array or not. Okay, not validating the data. Okay, I hope this is clear. You can use it to validate any other response. Okay, so to whenever you validate something is an array or not, you can use this array dot is array and pass this response. Okay, okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, then next is to validate the count. Okay, so to validate the count, here once again we are using this length method. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so here this will return how many items are present inside the array. Okay, so to get that we are using length method. So data dot length, so this will give the length and to be 10. Okay, so we know that we are expecting that it should be 10. Okay, so suppose from the server, if you're you know from the server we received 20 and here we are expecting 10, so in that case it will fail. Okay, okay, so next we will validate the first user. This is very important. Okay, we can validate many things, like we can validate, first user, second user, but that's going to be too much, so I'll only validate the first user. But if you want, if your requirement is like that, you can validate each of the object. Okay, okay, so here I'm validating only the first user. Okay, so I want to access the first user. Okay, so how to access the first user? So as I said, the response is an array format and array always starts from 0, correct? So here I'm taking data. So in this data, we have this response, correct? So here 0 means I can access the first object. Okay, and I'm storing this in some variable. Okay, okay, so 0 means first, 2 means 1 means second record, and 2 means third record. Okay, so here I'm storing the first user data inside this variable called first user. Okay, okay, so what I'm validating here is, I'm validating that in the first user ID should be 1, and also I'll validate name should be this one. Okay, and I'm going to validate that in this email ID it should contain this symbol. Okay, so these three things I'll validate here. Okay, okay, so how to validate, how to get this one? So expect first user dot id, so id is this one key. Okay, to be 1, this is the value I'm expecting, this id should be 1. And suppose, okay, so the server did not return the first id and it directly returned id 2, in that case it will fail. Okay, next is name. Okay, I'm expecting this name should be, here I'm not saying that it should be exactly this value, I'm saying, or we can, say that to be, I'll show you. Okay, so here to be defined means here what I'm expecting is this name should be present. Okay, so here I'm not validating the data, here this name field should be present. If you want to validate the data, we can use to be. Okay, so I'll type to be, I'll copy this name. Okay, then what I'm validating is, I'm validating that email id should contain at the rate symbol. Okay, so whenever you want to validate this email id, without this at the rate symbol, that email id is not valid, correct? So I'm validating that email id should contain at the rate symbol. Okay, and this is also called as field validation. Okay, so here I'm validating this id is present, name is present. Okay, and here this, field existence, so this is called field existence validation. Okay, this is field validation and this is field existence validation. Okay, so I'm just validating this field is exists. Okay, so you can validate for, you can do the same thing for, phone, website, and company and address. Okay. Okay, so next is, so next, so yeah, this is called, okay, we have done this. Next we will do nested object validation. This is very important in API testing. Okay, validating the nested object. Okay, so here I'm in the first user and I want to access this nested object. So how to access? Using the dot. Okay, remember, in order to access the nested objects, so we'll use dot symbol. Okay. Okay, so here first user, this entire thing represents the first user, and I want to access this address, so put dot. Okay, so address, so to be defined, it means this is defined, this is present. And to access the objects or the fields inside this object, again put dot. Okay, first user dot address, the address is this, and city, this one to be defined. Okay, so we are saying inside this object, this city, streets, zip code, geo, these are all defined, means these are all present. Okay. Okay, and if you want to validate, the exact values, we can go with to be. Okay. Okay, so here I'm only validating that these fields are exist. Okay, I hope this is clear. And next is, yeah, the same thing. Okay, so address and company. So here we address, here we validated the address. And if you want company, so first user dot company dot, first thing it's validating that it is defined, it is present in the object. Next is the values inside this company object. Okay. Okay, next is, this is important, we'll validate all the data. Okay, so what we have done is, here we have validated only the first user. Correct. The first user ID is present and we validate some of the fields. And so if you want to validate all the fields, okay, so in what I'm trying to validate is, in all the response, all the objects, this ID should be defined. Okay, ID should be present. If the basic things, if id is not coming from the server, it means it means this is going to fail and there is a error or bug in that. Okay, then I'll validate, it should contain email id, and email id should contain at the rate, and this phone number should be defined. These are all basic things I'm validating here. Okay, so you can validate website also, and you can say for website, to contain dot, usually the website contains dot com, something like that, no, so you can say dot contain dot. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay. Okay, so here to validate that, I'm using this, for off loop, and this data is what we are getting, response, and user is, just a variable I'm creating. And the first time it will go to this first object and it will take the ID to be defined. Then in the first object, it validate the email ID contain at the rate, and it validate that phone is defined. So it validate in all the objects and verify this is all defined. Okay, so these are all some basics we can do, and along with that we can do data type validation also. Okay, like expect. So what data type validation is, so I want id should be 3, okay, in number, and if it is three, it is going to fail. Okay, so I'm expecting, or I'm validating that here id should be always number and name should be string. Okay, so how to validate that? So using type of expect type of first user dot id to be number. Okay, so I'm saying it should be number. And I'll copy the same thing. Next is I want first user uh, name. Name dot to be string. Okay, so this is how we'll do data type validation. This is also very important. Okay, so here we are validating id should be number, and name should be string. Okay, next what we can validate is we can validate that this id should not be empty. Okay, so empty validation. Okay, so how to do? So expect first user dot id or name, you can take anything, id not to be empty, just put single quote. Okay, so in this way we are validating that id any field should not be empty. Okay, so you can do the same thing for all these things. Okay, so first name dot id name username, I'm sorry, or we can put it inside this loop. Okay, I'll put it inside this loop. Okay, so this is how we validate the response. Okay, I hope this is clear, and if you think you learned something from this video, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.